If you will invest in me, then I invest in you.
I prefer just to have people treat me as though I'm the next employee.
Please close your eyes for 10 minutes and leave as a visually impaired person.
It's not easy being me. I just wish I'd just be like a real boy, just like when Pinocchio became a real boy.
The biggest challenge is getting employers willing to invest the time and having really open conversations. The first thing I'm going to say to the employer is patience. You might have to repeat things with ADHD, with auditory problems.
It's not easy to go find a job. I already told you that when I was hurt for 8 months, that wasn't easy surviving whatever I was given through community services. Because 95% of the money was going towards rent, which is a very important thing to have because I don't want to be out in the streets. I don't really want to ask for help. My parents, that's the last resort. Because I want to show up and want to be independent. That's why I said to my mom not too long ago. It's not that I don't mind ask for help, but I want to show you guys I can do this on my own. It's not easy being me. At all. I'll be honest, there's days I wish I didn't have autism. I just wish I'd just be like a real boy, just like when Pinocchio became a real boy. If anyone ever seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about. And this is not against those who has it. That's how I feel. Because there are days I do struggle to go out. I had a situation once where I got home from somewhere else, I broke down and cried. Especially with a crowd. And that's very rare. Because I have been in a few concerts that I've been with crowds. Or when someone overwhelms you, it hurts. Or something minute for some people, and for me it's different.
I wish I'd known about a lot of the services that are available. I think it feels like it's hidden so that it almost feels like it's hidden so that people won't take advantage of them, so that they're saved for the people who really need it. Or, you have to jump through so many hoops that are, antithetical to somebody with ADHD or somebody who has mobility issues. They make it twice as hard to prove that you actually need it.
Are the structural components that they're using really speaking to the experiences of people with disabilities, or are they speaking to a negative aspect of people with disabilities? So do they speak to the fact that people with disabilities can come and learn or work or partake in their services? Or does it speak to the idea that if you do disclose, you're going to be given the minimal amount of treatment, and, is it going to be seen as a negative? I think that needs to change. I think there needs to be, at a lot of different places, everywhere I've worked, there's been the attitude of adjustment for people with disabilities. But I've never seen leadership of people with disabilities, aside from those organizations that are disability driven. So talk about NGOs and stuff like that. All these places that I've been in talk about, the inclusion of people with disabilities. Well, where's the leadership of people with disabilities? In a few of those places I was kind of it, But, it's nice to be represented, nice to see that representation reflected back at you. I also think that there needs to be a shift in terms of people's understanding about what we represent. We don't represent anything but a life that needs to be lived and the responsibilities therein. It's not like we represent a woe is me population or anything like that. We want to be respected at the same level as everybody else. And sometimes the accommodations that people receive outweigh, the actual aspect that their accommodations don't mean anything aside from allowing them to work. Let them get to work. Open things up. If you're going to actually have an analysis of things and the way it operates, that sort of subliminally oppresses people, you can't just go to white managers and ask them their points of view. You need to broaden out that perspective and figure out from people who are of different races, of different creeds, of different genders and so on, of different gender experiences, what their experience has been in order to get at least a foothold in their world. Typically what's happened is that, it's been white men who've had physical disabilities. You're talking to one right now, but we've generally had the sort of lay of the land in terms of responses. So if we're going to kick it up a notch and include everybody, then those people need to be talked to. And there's no way to get around that. It's just consultation.
For improvement and make more accessible the places and everything, I can say if the people who are employed and they have a factory and all the agencies, if they try to study about people with visually impaired disabilities, what is their needs, they can easily accessible everything. And the government needs to focus on the disabled people more and more. I wish for my job, during my job research, there was an organization, whenever I need help, I could call, and without waiting for 3 or 4 months, they can solve my problem. Or if I need to fill out a form, I didn't need to wait for a month. They could right away fill out the form for me. But unfortunately, we found some organization, they said you have to wait for volunteers, and the volunteers are not available all the time. We have sometimes wait to 3 to 4 months for a small form to be filled out. If all the agency have a desk for the disabled people, that would be awesome.
If we are going to move this forward, then we have to be at that table together. It can't be you dictating to other people what they should do based on your assumptions of what a certain identity is. We have to be at that same level. And if I can't have a discussion with you where I feel like that barrier is put in place because you're the employer, I'm the employee, we're separated by an accommodation, and that's being discussed, then we're not going to get along well together. You need to look beyond that. Like, that's one facet of being employed.
If I want to say something to an employer to make a situation better, first of all, I will talk about my skills, things I can do very well. And after that, I will ask him, at least let me try myself for a week or so. If I couldn't do whatever you need, then I can understand I'm not able to do it. At least let me try myself. Before you say no, let me try. Give me a chance. For example, I went to an agency, they said, do you have any Canadian experience? And I said, no. She said, oh, this is really important. I said, how can I have an experience when nobody hire me? How? Can you tell me how?
Have supports, not just for the person with disability, but for the employers. Have training available for employers online that they can take on their own.
Government and whatnot has to step up on everything with this disability. Anyone in general, put your money where your mouth is. Put your money where your mouth is. Start helping people with disabilities on everything, because last time I checked, we're human in spite of having a disability. Some of us didn't really have a great life. Some of us are still struggling.
Let's do something for ourselves. Let's try our best to change some policies. Like, let's talk to some employees, to some employers to hire us easier, because we are facing so many issues and we are not stay young forever, right? Every year we are getting older and we need to build our future now.
Everybody needs adaptions. Everybody needs help every once in a while. And everybody can give help.
In terms of the broader community, if I had a position where I was able to speak to them, I'd say that, things change because we see there's gaps, and there's no change that happens because of our exclusion. Like there's nothing that can happen that will benefit us if it doesn't include us in the first place. So, if there's any way you can get your voice heard, if there's any way that you can become intrigued by these sorts of things, then by all means go into them and have your discussions with those people at power. Because I think the more that we are able to do that, the more that things will adjust and the more that things will change. I don't think that waiting for someone else to sort of hop on that, like a politician you're voting for, if they don't have your best interests in place, or they don't represent community which you represent, which is diverse and inclusive, then is that really someone you want to be representing you? These are sorts of things you have to engage with that level. And so it's unfortunate, I think, in some senses, but I say whenever people who don't represent that able-bodied small group of 7 people who are billionaires, everybody else wakes up and they're an activist, because they've got to be. They live in a world that wasn't designed for them.
If I want to say something to people, please understand us, our needs, and please trust us. Before you think about our disability, please think about what we can do and what we did. Please think positive about us.